Hey, what's going on, everybody? So I'm actually driving around, but I wanted to take a jab at the super Nazi zombie secret that no one's figured out yet, as far as we know. This is, like I said, my quick jab at it. So what do I think the biggest kept Nazi zombie secret is? Well, this one, a few people have said it, but it's been one of those things where it's like, someone says it, but then it's like, no. And so it's kind of been the biggest kept secret of Nazi zombies. And so like I said, I'm going to go through it and what I think, and basically go a little bit more in depth with it. So in a nutshell, what is it? Basically, our four characters, Nikolai Belinsky, Tank Dempsey, Edward Richtofen, and Takeo Masaki, are all based off of characters within the campaign. Now that's a fact, okay? The character models used for those four characters are actually in the campaign. That's a fact. So basically what I'm saying is at some point Nikolai and our four beloved characters did actually serve in the main thing, in the main campaign. See, I'm getting mixed up. This is really, I know it doesn't sound complex yet. Trust me, it gets fucking crazy. Okay? So, Nikolai is a completely different person in real life, in the real life campaign. Anyone who's played enough Nazi zombies and enough of the campaign will know who I'm talking about. Now, when Shi no Numa came out, we had biographies of each character on the game. Now, Nikolai's said that he was basically put onto the front lines of the Russian army. Is that a fact within the game? Within the campaign? Well, yeah, he is on the front lines. In fact, he's actually there for the first of most of the engagements within the game. It's not until the last level that I believe he actually dies. So keep that in mind. Now, his character model dies, but his character model has a completely different name. So keep that in mind. Well, Edward Richtofen, his character model is a German general, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't really know where Edwards is. But it's assumed that he's the German general. I'm sure it's been proven at some point. But he basically gets sniped by the character you're playing as while you're hanging out with Reznov. So you basically killed Edward Richtofen. Okay, so now we've got two of our characters dead. Now, what about Tank Dempsey? Now, I believe he actually dies in Shuri Castle. Correct me if I'm wrong. I actually think his character model dies at Shuri Castle towards the end of the mission. But whatever. Now, Takeo, his is the easiest. He's on the first level, like the first 5 minutes he dies. So, of course, you can, yeah. Now, the reason why all of this is somewhat important and somewhat complex is because when you really think about it, all four of those characters have died. Now, their biographies, from what we know and from what we've learned over time, they're all really bad people. It is my belief, this isn't canon that we know of, that Tank Dempsey was actually maybe even a murderer of his own Marines. That's just my belief, because when you look at the other characters, Nikolai, he killed his own wives. Takeo killed his own family. Edward Richtofen was just crazy, and he talks about having a family, but he never really says anything about killing them or anything like that. So maybe it's possible that, they just aren't dead, but Edward Richtofen, of course, has killed many, many people and tortured them. So he's pretty crazy. Now, the only one that we don't actually know about is Tank Dempsey. So I thought, well, what is Tank Dempsey? Why is he with the other three? He's absolutely crazy. As far as being a Marine, aren't Marines good? Well, I believe that something happened, okay? Tank Dempsey, his is probably the worst out of all of them. So the best I could come up with is, he probably killed maybe not a whole platoon, but I think whatever squad of Marines he was with, he just lost it and killed all of them. He just, maybe something like that, or maybe he went through, Marines had to do some pretty crazy shit during World War II. Maybe he had a Vietnam moment and just went through, started killing everything, including children and women and that sort of thing. Just, maybe that's who he is or who he was at that time, and of course he died. Now, because of these characters' crazy run-ins with, I guess, real life and their mass murdering skills, if you want to call them that, they were put into a section of a reality, a alternate reality. They were given new personas within their own factions, of course. They were given new names and new memories. So Tank Dempsey, probably a Marine in real life, also remembers being a Marine in this game, but he only remembers being a Marine. Now, are there any clues to this world that they're playing in, that we play the characters? Are there any clues that it's just one big game? Maybe it's their punishment. Think of it as a hell. Now, who is in control of that? Well, that's Samantha. Well, now I know you guys are saying, well, wait, Richtofen knows all about Samantha. Exactly. But we don't actually know that he knows. You see what I'm saying? It's like the whole story could be that our four characters died in World at War. Their punishment for their crimes, it's out there that they are all war criminals. It's well known. So is it possible that their punishment was to be put in this hell that is run by a little girl? However, that little girl is not actually the main enemy. It's very well possible that that little girl also has been given a new name, a new, sort of persona, and her own memories. So who's the puppet master? We've got all the puppets. Who's the puppet master? Well, what about all the Grim Reaper bloodstains? Now, I just talked about hell and everything like that, and, the zombies, It's weird that our four main characters are all war criminals and they've killed so many people. Wouldn't it be the perfect punishment to have to constantly kill things that can't be killed? Think about that. Imagine being a serial killer. You kill 1,000 people before you finally die. Your punishment in a hell-ish type environment is to have to kill undead armies forever. Endless. It'll never stop. In fact, I think those are some of the lyrics to some of Lena Segman's songs. I don't know. Maybe it isn't. Maybe I'm getting two games mixed up, because it reminded me of StarCraft 2. But that's my theory. Now, to further prove this theory, only video games have power-ups. Okay? Only video games have buyables and buildables. So it could not possibly be real life. You see, I really think that is the biggest kept secret. That all of this is really just a game. Like, literally, it is just a game. See, now I'm confusing myself and probably confusing you guys. It's both the literal and the, I guess, second literal. We're playing a game that's inside of a game. The Nazi zombie storyline is still a storyline, don't get me wrong. But it's a massive game that the Grim Reaper, or if you want to, the devil, is basically using to punish our four characters. And if you include Samantha, her as well. Dr. Maxis, him as well. Although, we haven't actually ever seen Dr. Maxis. So how do we know he exists? You see what I'm saying? Now, once again, to further back this up, Samantha in her room, Kino, okay, in Kino you can go to her room. She's got 4 action figures. One of each one of our characters. And basically a little map of, I believe, Darius. But I'm not exactly sure about that. So let's assume that that is Darius, and that's, you know, our 4 characters, and that's how everything is. Do you guys think that would be the biggest kept Nazi zombie secret? I know a lot of people have put it out there like, oh, you know, it's possible. I don't know if that's basically how they do it. I've never seen a really long video on how it could be possible. It's more of just like, you know, what if this is all just a big game? You know, I don't really know how I'd think about it if it was like that, and then they go on to something else. But I don't think we've actually seen a full-on video like, this is how things are. So, that's my presentation for today, or at least this video. And because I'm probably going to end up doing more videos later on today. But that's it so far for this particular video. Do leave a like if you thought it was a really good theory. I mean, in my opinion, I think it's the best. You know, it's not entirely impossible, but it's not, well, I guess it can't be impossible or entirely possible and not entirely impossible. It's just, if it's the biggest kept secret, then that would be really awesome that, you know, I was the one to figure it out. I mean, most people have kind of thought, you know, like, okay, well, that would be kind of cool, you know, it makes sense, but at the same time, no one's really been able to back it up, and I've just heard people say it would be cool, but, you know, they haven't gone into in-depth reasons as to why it would work. So that's the best I can do today. So once again, like, favorite, comment, subscribe, give me any suggestions. And what I mean by that is, you guys, if you want me to talk about Darius or theories or whatever it is, in fact, I've done a shitload of research on the Nazi zombies storyline. I know a lot of crap that people haven't even thought of. For instance, the reason why Speed Cola is green. Okay, a little history lesson for you guys. When Coca-Cola first came out, it was green. Now, Speed Cola is often referred to as Coca-Cola. The same way PhD Flopper is referred to as Dr. Pepper. And of course, Double Tap is root beer. Well, I'll get to all of that, you know, in another video. But that's basically the stuff that I've kind of researched. Furthermore, exactly what parts are used in the Pack-a-Punch machine. Like, I can tell you what makes it run and that sort of thing, and what parts move and so on and so forth. Because it's been right in front of everyone's faces for a long time. Let's just put it that way. And I broke that down a long time ago, and I actually had a video up of it, but I didn't keep it on the channel for long. Like I said, I abandoned one of my older channels a long time ago, but like I said, if you guys want to like, favorite, you know, tell your friends about it, about this channel, subscribe, because I'm going to try and do a video a day. I sometimes might go on a video spree and do like 10. But that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Talk to you guys later.